Hello.
Hello.
And welcome to Let's Cook number 7. This one is inspired by Mr. McMahon, who presented me with a book, I think, last week. And we're going to do a salad called Tabbouleh. And Tabbouleh does come from Lebanon, Syria. But I also know from reading the book that it's also enjoyed in Palestine. So let's start. Ingredients. Very, very important. I would say the number one ingredients, flat leaf parsley. You can also get curly, but we've got the ones with the flat leaves. We've got our bulgur wheat. Okay, and that's cooked. That has been cooked, so it's ready to go. We've also got our cloves of garlic. There we go. Tomato. We've got beautifully fresh smelling mint. We've got sticks of cinnamon. We've got small onion, pomegranate, the king of fruits, and then either a lemon or a lime will go with those. Olive oil too. And just equipment, you'll definitely need a chopping board. You'll need a sharp knife. Please get an adult to help. A spoon, a grater, and then you'll need a nice bowl to put everything in and to mix it all up. So let's get started. Hands, camera down. So we've got our bulgur. I'm just going to, so it was cooked a little while ago. I'm just going to break it up so none of the bits are stuck together. And I'm going to add it to our bowl here. Now it does depend the amount of bulgur wheat you want to use. I have read in the book that in Lebanon, they tend to use less bulgur wheat, but it's up to you. All the ingredients I think are delicious. So whatever ratio and however you mix up your ingredients, that will be good. Large handfuls. We're going to have this for lunch at school. We'll be, I'm sure, making slightly smaller portions at home for you to enjoy and for your family to enjoy. Okay, so I've got about 3/4 of my bowl full with bulgur. Mr. Pavel has chopped up the parsley. It's pretty fine, I can smell it. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a mix. There we go. Next, we need to chop up the tomato and the onions. Quite finely. The tomato will need to be diced. I think you can see Mr. Pavel doing that in the background. So in slices first, and then into little squares. And I am going to cut the onion very finely. So first into little slices, going across the onion, watching for my fingers. There we go. And then turn the onion around and have very, very small diced onions. Mr. Pavel is just getting rid of some of the juice. And I'm just going to go through and chop maybe slightly finely, slightly more fine. We've got our onion here. Lots of chopping. Once that is ready, I will add that to the salad here. Do the other half of the onion. Now, there's a funny quote when I was reading the recipe from the book. There was a funny quote that if you want to find a good husband, you'd better learn how to chop parsley properly. Now, I know parsley is used a lot also in Polish cooking, whether it's for soup or other main meals. Parsley is full of vitamin C, more than an orange or possibly even a lemon. So it's a great herb to add to all sorts of cooking. Chopping up the onion, we don't want anything too oniony. Mr. Pavel is adding in nicely diced tomatoes. chopping skills are definitely not as good as Mr. Pavel's. I will keep working on them, and perhaps they will improve. Telling me that it's very good. Okay, so we've got, just to recap, bulgur wheat, onions, tomatoes, parsley. I think one large tomato. We had very large tomatoes, or should we do two, Mr. Pavel? What do you think? Should we do two?
Yeah.
We've got one, we've decored it, so it's ready to use. Maybe I'll let you do that one.
Okay.
I'll do the garlic. I'm going to take 3 cloves. I'm going to crush them under the blade of my knife. There we go. And I'm going to cut them finely too. If you have a garlic press, you could use one of those as well. Garlic is another very healthy thing that we can use ingredient in our cooking, especially for things like colds. Helps our immune system stay healthy, fight off viruses and other things that we've got going around possibly at the moment. Now, I really enjoy pomegranate, and I'll show you a good way of getting the seeds out. I've got a bit of leftover onion and garlic, which I'll try and chop as finely as I possibly can. This is a good recipe where maybe you can get all of your family involved to help with some of the chopping. And your kasha bulgur, or your bulgur wheat, do just read the instructions on the back of the box. I think it's one of my favorite grains. Okay, we've got a lime. You can use a lemon. I'm just going to roll it to get it nice and tender. There we go. And I'm pressing quite hard on it. Cut it in half. I've got a fork, and I'm going to stab the fork. And oh, it smells delicious. The lime juice is going in. More tomatoes are going in.
Fresh.
Super fresh mint, which also smells really good. And Mr. Pavel is just going to take the leaves off the mint in a moment when I move my hands out of the way. So he's just picking off the leaves off the stem. Okay, so one whole lime is going in. Okay, we'll give it a good mix in a moment. Now mint, you can either shred by hand or you can chop it finely, just like we did the parsley. Okay, got a few more bits here. And now I'm going to grate a little bit. We've got cinnamon sticks. I'm going to use the finest one. Keep your fingers away. And I'm grate a little bit in. Also buy cinnamon in a powder. Yes. Look at this super technique. Getting those seeds out. Otherwise it can get quite messy. Now the pomegranate's called the king of the fruits because they have this crown on top. This poor pomegranate's crown is a little bit squashed. I think you can see the crown, or parts of the crown. Well, this one might be a better one. Look at that. And also because it's so full of vitamins, so it's a really good fruit to eat. It's juicy, but it has got little seeds. But you can eat the seeds. Start mixing everything together. So just the chopped mint at the top is getting mixed through now. Mr. Pavel keeps going with the pomegranate. Okay. He's just getting rid of any bits of, I guess we can call them skin, little white bits that come out. It's kind of their casing. I think every single seed has jumped out of there. Oops. Okay, so those are going in. There we go. They look like little pink jewels going into our salad. We're going to give those a mix. All the bulgur wheat from the bottom. Now it should have a sharp, it should taste, it should be well seasoned. So we're putting in a sprinkle of salt. We need some pepper too. In goes the pepper. And I think our last ingredients, olive oil, just to bring all the flavors together. So 1 spoon, 2, maybe 3. Okay. And there's our Cook-Tabbouleh ready for lunch. I think it's time to try. Thank you.
Very tasty.
Very, very tasty.
Very tasty. Not fresh.
Super.
Absolutely fantastic.
Fantastic. Thank you.
You.
Thank you. Don't forget to send me your photos.
See you.
Bye.
Bye next.